WartPeel is a unique medication with a unique history. It is a compounded medicine, but it is definitely not your typical compounded medicine. Normally, we think of a compounded medicine as a couple of active ingredients put into a standard base, like a solution or a cream. We don't think of them as going through years of development, like WartPeel has, and we definitely don't think about them as having been awarded 3 U.S. patents, which WartPeel has as well. At the heart of its patent is the Remedium delivery system. It's an adhesive gel that we'll talk more about later. It turns out warts are so tough to treat topically, or any other way for that matter, that a new vehicle needed to be developed to make a topical medication that actually works. The first step in mastering your use of WartPeel, which I have found to have a 95% cure rate in 1 to 2 weeks, is to understand what it is, and that's exactly what this presentation will do. The history of WartPeel and its development is very interesting, and it's covered in a lot more detail in a different short presentation. That one is called Patented Unique Advanced WartPeel is Not Your Typical Compounded Medicine. So I definitely urge you to view that one as a companion piece to this one. So this medicine came to be developed as a collaboration between one of America's largest compounding pharmacies, which is New Cara Pharmacy, which is based in the Midwest, and a small drug formulation company called Cara Pharmaceuticals. Now they're sister companies. One of the unique things that New Cara does is that compounding is at the heart of their business. They actually have pharmacists go out into the field, visiting with doctors and podiatrists, veterinarians even, and seeing what compounded medicines they're already using, what ideas they have for new compound medicines, and they'll even suggest compounded medicines as well. So once they found something that seems to have promise, that seems to be working well, that's when they send it to their sister company, Cara Pharmacy, and they employ pharmacists who just specialize in drug formulation. They take something that New Cara Pharmacy has found that's working and they try to make it much, much better. And this process is how WartPeel was created. It was actually created in collaboration with podiatrists for the treatment of plantar warts. So to begin to understand what WartPeel is, let's start with its active ingredients, 5-fluorouracil and salicylic acid. Now these ingredients have actually been tested and approved in a wart product from Europe called Verimol. And as it turns out, they have an amazing synergy together. It's one of the most effective topical wart medicines, boasting a 63% cure rate for plantar warts versus the control group of 23%. Now, if you look at the percentages of 5-FU and salicylic acid, WartPeel has 2% 5-FU and Verimol has 4 times less. WartPeel has 17% salicylic acid, which is more than the 10% of Verimol. But there's definitely that synergy of having a keratolytic agent to break down those outer layers of the wall and an anti-metabolite chemotherapeutic agent to selectively destroy the fast-growing wart. Verimol was also in a film-forming solution, which means it doesn't fully dry and it slowly releases its medication over time, which is roughly similar to the vehicle in WartPeel. Now the heart of WartPeel's 3 patents is the Remedium Sustained Release Adhesive Gel. It has 2 of the best skin penetrating agents out there in it, which are DMSO and a hydrogel, water. This means that it's a semi-solid adhesive. It dries well enough to stick to the skin, but it remains slightly soft so it can slowly release the medication over time. One other really cool feature of it is that as an adhesive, it only sticks well to dry surfaces, like the epidermis, which has a lot less water in it than the dermis. So once it destroys the epidermal lesion and the dermis that's with it, and it starts to come in contact with the more water-rich dermis, it doesn't stick very well, for one, and 2, it starts to sting more. So both of those things prompt patients to stop using it. So it has a very, very low risk of scarring. And when you think of WartPeel, don't think of it really as two active ingredients and a base. Think of it as a system. There's a lot of synergy going on there, not just between the 5-fluorouracil and the salicylic acid, but with the Remedium adhesive gel as well. And also, for warts and thick-skinned areas, there's a waterproof tape which comes with WartPeel to amplify the effects of it more. The Remedium gel is a proprietary gel, so they tell me this at WartPeel once in a while, that there's a secret sauce. They're not going to reveal it to anyone, not even me. And once you start to use it and see how powerful it is and how effective it is, you will say, just like Walter White did, you must respect the chemistry. They have put some work into this formula. They have done something, some mixture of ingredients, some modifications that make it work extremely well, better than any other topical wart medicine out there by far. So what are the advantages of WartPeel versus other topical medicines, or versus the procedures that you're doing? It's the cure rate. The cure rate is extremely high. My experience, I've treated hundreds, 1,000 people at this point, and it works on just about everyone. There are a few people that it doesn't, but a 95% cure rate is something you can get to in a pretty short amount of time. There's a little bit of a learning curve. That's why we develop these educational materials. That's why I'm on call. So we'll accelerate your learning as fast as possible. It is also extremely well tolerated. If you've got a patient that's 5 years and up, they're going to be able to tolerate it. And we talked about its very low chance of scarring because it doesn't stick well to the water-rich dermis because it's an adhesive, and it starts to sting when it hits the dermis, and most people just stop then. Now, besides warts, it also can be used for molluscum contagiosum, for male genital warts, excellent for male genital warts, and also for seborrheic keratoses. There are short presentations on each of these subjects. It's $95. It's a self-pay product. Patients can use their health savings account. And if you have low-income patients, ask us about patient assistance. We want everyone who needs WartPeel to be able to afford it. So we've talked about WartPeel and the Remedium delivery system and the synergy between all the ingredients. Now let's look at an actual case. And this is a case that's highlighted in detail in another short presentation called Severe Periungual Wart. So if you're interested to learn more about this, check out that short presentation. So it can treat your worst wart. I mean, this is a terrible wart. This periungual wart has obliterated the cuticle. It goes all the way around the finger. I don't know how you would treat this any other way successfully than with WartPeel. So after just 5 days of WartPeel, there was all this dead wart. I allowed the patient's finger to heal after I did extensive curettage, which I normally don't do, but you could read about it in a more detailed presentation. There was still some more wart left. I had him use WartPeel another 5 days, and a month later, the wart was completely cured, as well as the 7 or 8 other warts he had on him. If you have patients with really bad cases of warts that you've been struggling with, think about WartPeel. Also, definitely think about it as a first-line treatment. More than half of the patients that I see for warts, when I explain to them the options and what they do and how long they take to work and what the downtime is like, more than half of people choose WartPeel. So think about it as both a first and a second-line treatment. That concludes our presentation. At Medcara, we believe in standing behind our product and supporting our prescribers to get the best possible results from WartPeel. That's why I'm available to answer questions, to go over cases by phone, text, or email, and I'll respond the same day or the next business day. I can also do a virtual presentation for your office or professional organization. And don't forget about all the educational resources at WartPeel.com. I'm Steve Leon, Physician Assistant, Clinical Consultant for Medcara and WartPeel. Thank you for listening.